Okay, so business of the day, we have a whole lot of things to take up today. But before we do that, could you kindly introduce yourselves for the record?
I'm Ajani Patubendi, Director Foreign Exchange Department, Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
I'm W. Sudat Prasanna, Additional Director, Foreign Exchange Department, Central Bank.
I'm Kapili Virakon, Deputy Director, Foreign Exchange Department, Central Bank.
Deputy Secretary Treasury.
Deputy General, Department of Fiscal Policy.
Rasal Ranavira, Additional Director General, Department of Trade and Investment Policy.
Suganya Saravanamuthu, Assistant Director, Department of Fiscal Policy.
Yumi Kumaraguru, Assistant Director, Department of Fiscal Policy.
Now there is a housekeeping matter, members. Now after the new Central Bank Act, the Deputy Secretary of the Treasury no longer has operational or overseeing authority, because it is no longer part of the finance ministry. So in that sense, the central bank has to be represented by a senior officer. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm glad that Mrs. Seniviratna is here, because if you were not here, we would not be able to conduct this session. Because we have written very specifically to the secretary that we don't expect the secretary to come, but at least one of the 3 deputy secretaries to the treasury has to be here. So, who is leading the delegation from the central bank, please? You are. You are. Who is? Who is leading the central bank delegation today at this committee?
Director.
You are the director?
Foreign Exchange Department.
Foreign Exchange Department. So the person looking after the Department of Foreign Exchange is you?
Yes.
And who do you report to?
Assistant Governor and then to the Senior Deputy Governor.
So, Assistant Governor. So what should we do? I mean, what is the protocol? We have a Deputy Secretary of the Treasury representing the Treasury. We have to have the similar protocol that represents the central bank. I mean, this is a housekeeping matter. This has come anew because of the new law. I would think that at least an assistant governor should be leading the delegation of the central bank hereafter. So let us make that, if the members agree, we will do that, because there has to be at least an assistant governor hereafter representing the delegation from the central bank at the committee. That's okay, but that's for the future. Could you kindly tell us what you propose to get us to approve today?
There are 3 regulations, sir.
Yes.
We issued under the Foreign Exchange Act.
Yes.
This, of course, just to need the relaxation of some of the existing exchange restrictions related to prohibition on converting rupees into dollars for certain current international transactions, as observed by the IMF. Yes. So as I said, sir, this is something to relax some of the existing exchange restrictions on converting rupees into dollars on current international transaction as observed by the IMF, International Monetary Fund. So these 3 regulations to relax these existing restrictions.
Yeah. So what are the, sorry, please go ahead. Yes, you don't have the documents with you? Are the analyst documents not available with the members? You generally share, right? No, where is, we share generally the analysis, no? Sorry? No. Do you have the analyst document with you?
ශ්‍රී ලංකා මේ ගරු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ ප්‍රයෝජන සඳහා සටහන
නෑ මේක අපේ කමිට්
I don't have. Got it now. Chairman got it now.
okay. It's there.
Receive
Okay.
it.
No, today such no, but this is on the shared folder, no? It's on the drive. Yeah, so you should get. We normally share this with you. No, we normally share this with the members. Okay, right. That's okay. Sorry about the confusion. Yes. You have a question, honorable member, or shall I go ahead? Okay. So here we have. Shall we look at the first gazette,
Yes, sir.
which is 2371/48?
Yes.
Yes. Explain that to us, please. What do you want to relax here?
So normally we have allowed by our previous regulation to raise foreign borrowing by business foreign currency account holders, the tenor being less than 3 years. Generally we have permitted to raise the foreign loans over 3 and above, but we have allowed a business foreign currency account who are foreign exchange earners to raise loans, the tenor being less than 3 years. So, but we had permitted in 2021 in terms of the then issued regulation on the condition that this loan has to be serviced, so raised in out of their foreign exchange earnings. So it's a short-term nature loans, no sir. So that would not exert any pressure on the exchange rate. So that was our understanding. But the IMF, they have identified that because we have allowed not to convert rupees into dollars to service the loan, no, because it's a short-term one. So they have identified it as a exchange restrictions. So that we were just compelled to relax this condition and to allow to convert rupees into dollars in order to continue to service this short-term loan.
This is less than 3 years.
Less years. That's what we have exactly done by this amending this regulation by issuing this gazettes.
Yeah, so this is a restriction you brought in during the crisis.
Yes, sir.
Now you are removing it.
2021.
Yeah,
Because
now
there was some we had allowed them to raise loans for working capital requirement.
Yeah.
Because they are foreign exchange earners, they are in a position to continue to service their.
Correct. So if the foreign exchange, this is business foreign currency accounts.
Yeah.
Right, if they are earning in USD, why do they have to convert LKR to USD to service those loans?
Basically, sir, now this basically then now when they don't have enough foreign exchange their earnings, they normally, sir, servicing a loan is in the nature of the current international transaction. In terms of the agreement what we entered into with the IMF, you can't maintain any restriction over on the current international transaction.
Article 4.
Article 8, sir.
Sorry, Article 8.
So that is why they are just insisting us to relax this requirement, so thereby they can convert.
I understand that. My question is, generally, do they have to actually convert LKR to USD, or is it just a restriction that is on paper that you are removing?
So now we as I understand, sir, so they have two options. Either, in generally speaking, they can use their own foreign exchange earnings to repay the loan. Either they have to convert rupees into dollars. But because it's regulation restricted for them to prohibited them to convert rupees into dollars, the only option left for them to only to convert, to use their own foreign exchange earnings. So once we, just relax the requirement, now they can convert rupees into dollars to continue to service the loan.
Yeah, but then the forced conversion still applies or not?
Forced conversion, sir, I don't know if you are referring it to the exporter's conversion requirement.
Yes.
That is still persisting, sir.
So, but then that is contradictory, no?
No, sir. This post conversion means, sir, now if you are say conversion into foreign exchange into rupee, rupees exporters, so they have to convert. So now, if you say they receive export proceeds this month,
Yeah.
they have to convert their export proceeds only in the following month before the 7th day of the following month.
Is that a restriction or not?
Sir, normally that measure was introduced as a measure of improving the foreign exchange market liquidity conditions.
So was this.
Sorry, sir?
So was this.
Yes. In
No,
fact,
so was this in the sense that to sort of maintain, to repay the debt,
Yeah.
that you had to use Forex.
Yes.
As opposed to
That's the
converting
thing, that's the thing,
LKR
yes,
to Forex.
yeah. So they don't need to come to the
my
market.
point is this. Now let us take an example, right? You earn $1 million this year, this month, right? You bring the $1 million into your foreign exchange account. This $1 million, then for next month, you will tick off the boxes, how much to pay loans, how much for raw material to be imported, etc. And you keep that in USD, and the rest you convert into LKR.
Exactly.
Correct?
So exactly. So
Yes.
that's the residual. You mean the residual?
Residual has to be converted to LKR.
Yeah. LKR.
Right. So now what you are saying is, well, so if you have converted to LKR, you can convert the LKR back to USD and pay the amount.
Yes.
So why do you want to touch your nose the other way around?
Of course, now, in fact, now this.
So my question is this:
Yeah.
Market is volatile. One day it is 305, the next day it is 295. The other day it can be 310. So when you convert once, you have to convert again.
Yeah.
Right? There is a transaction cost in that double conversion.
Sir, I understand.
Yes.
That is why, sir, we have identified this requirement. So we have given some extra 1 month commitment, 1 month period for people who want to service their loans, sir. So they don't need to convert the 7th day of the following month. Additionally, they can keep this month for another 1 month.
Why you want to bring so many restrictions? Is it actually serving any purpose?
So this was introduced in the midst of the crisis, and
So
now.
why don't you remove that also?
So there are some requests coming from the export community to give them some further period to retain foreign currency in their accounts.
That is my question. You know, why do you want to force convert now? I mean, are you having a Forex problem or not? Currently, what are your reserves looking? Because I see the rupee appreciating. You bought $750 million last month, the largest ever purchase by the central bank in its history, in 1 month. Isn't it not?
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
So you don't seem to have a Forex problem in the short term.
So market, yes, you would say that market has some excess foreign exchange, but this is basically the central bank policy, sir. So I think we of course that's a decision taken by the governing board. So of course as the foreign exchange department, we have been held responsible to monitor these things. But the policy level.
Sorry, you said something, and because we are still new in this business, I want to understand.
Sure, sir.
You said that the decision is being taken by the governing board. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
taken
Because
by the governing board or the monetary policy board?
So earlier monetary board, now the governing board.
So, but I thought the actual day-to-day decisions on these types of things was more the scope within the monetary policy board, not the governing board.
So this rule was introduced under the then existing monetary board, sir. Yes. Now this continue to exist this particular rule under the central bank law, because we have some saving provisions to continue this rule under the new law as well.
No, we have no issues in doing this. We have no problems. But the technical point that I'm asking from doing business focus is you're making doing business more difficult by making them convert back. And now you're saying, okay, we will extend them another year, another month.
No, we have already extended by another month for those who want to repay the loan. But there are requests to allow them to continue to retain this foreign exchange for a further period, like
that
90
days. That is my
days.
question, because that is the question business people will ask.
Yeah. So that is being considered.
Chairman
for
also
months.
one.
Sorry,
just
can I
one
just ask a question?
Can you tell me what's the benefit that we are going to get out of this?
Yeah, just also
What is
before with that,
like-
Chairman, with your permission, what is the current reserves in USD? Because we see different figures in different
we have a
forums.
different department called International Operations Department.
No, just
they only deal about the reserve matter, but generally speaking, I remember that it is over 5 billion now.
Yeah, that's the thing. We get figures saying it's 4.5 billion. Some are saying over 5 billion. Some
Including the SOP. Yes,
yeah,
because-
total. Yeah, if you can let us know what the total reserves are right now in USD, Central Bank.
And also, can you let us know, like, what are we expecting by doing this? Like, what's the central bank, or, because if we are not having a problem with the Forex as well, then, getting rupees converted and, paying up their loans or whatever,
Yeah.
to all the inconvenience of the business people, what benefit do the central bank or the government get from it?
we of course depend on, for the market liquidity, we have to depend on the worker remittances and also the export proceed conversions. So in order to help improve the market liquidity, continue to have the market liquidity, central bank presently is of the view that this requirement is still necessary to continue to have.
Okay.
That's our policy stance, man.
Okay. That's all right. I mean, we can go ahead. There is no issue. But I think you need to consider relaxing those laws that inhibits business people from freely going about their business, because it actually increases the cost of doing business. You want to say something, madam?
No.
Currently, we are considered, because this revision started, we have obtained the observation from the market as well. It's underway right now. So we will be able to report to the governing board soon.
What is the depth of the Forex market on a daily basis?
You mean the total
Transactions in the market? 30 million, 40 million dollars, 50 million dollars?
maybe around, what I understand is last month we had purchased around 700 or 750 million dollars.
No, daily. I'm saying daily.
Yeah, if you divide by normal 20, by 20, so you get that 35
No, but
to
that
40.
is what you bought, no? What I'm asking is, what is the sort of average transaction on a daily basis in the Forex market right now?
So of course I'll inform the committee, sir, after.
The reason for the question is the following. The volatility depends on how deep or shallow the market is. You have one bill coming into the market. Somebody brings in a big amount of cashes, a big amount of dollars into the market. Suddenly the rupee appreciates. And say Petroleum Corporation or somebody has a big bill to pay, the rupee depreciates. So you see a fair degree of volatility in the market. That's why I'm asking, right? Because the rupee was at 370. Then it sort of stabilized around 325. Then it went to 300. Then it went to 290 something. Now it is back to 300, 305. So if you look at the market has been fairly volatile. And the central bank, your job as the Department of Forex is to try to smoothen out the volatility in the market, not to push the rate in one direction or the other. So I'm asking, what is the volatility? What is your standard deviation around, why is it so volatile?
So we are not, of course, closely, dealing with these matters, because we have a different department, international operation department. They only just deal with this foreign exchange dealing. So of course, I can just inform these their standard deviation.
But you are
of
the
this
director.
We are from regulator.
Foreign exchange?
Director foreign exchange, sir.
You are director foreign exchange?
Our role is promotion and regulation of the foreign exchange market. So we are not monitoring liquidity. IOD department wants the liquidity position, exchange rate and all. So we generally monitor the compliance against the rules and regulation that we have already issued.
Compliance.
Compliance, yes.
So that is remittance compliance.
Yeah, those are we look after.
I want you to stay back for a particular gazette that we have to discuss later on today. So please don't leave because it's related to, since you said you are the regulator,
Right.
related to that. Right, that's okay. Then the next one. That is 71/49.
Yeah. So again, sir, this we had also issued a gazette notification previously,
Yeah.
allowing Sri Lankan companies to list foreign currency denominated shares or securities at the stock exchange, and to receive, in order to receive the investments in dollars, in foreign currency, and keep those currency for their investment outside the, to you use the foreign exchange outside the country for their investment purposes.
Would you mind repeating what you said?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, the companies previously, in terms of the regulation issued under the Foreign Exchange Act, had been permitted to list, foreign currency denominated shares or listed securities at the stock market, Colombo stock market. This is one of their policy proposals. It's not us. This only policy proposal put forward by the Colombo Stock Exchange.
When was this?
This was in 2021. Sir.
Okay.
So that we, of course, as the implementing body, so we facilitated their proposal by issuing a regulation allowing Sri Lankan companies to list their foreign currency shares and to receive their capital into the company.
Shares or debt?
Both, sir. And the only thing is that they don't need to convert into rupees, sir. Because when they receive these dollar denominated shares, they have a foreign currency account. They can keep this in the form of the dollar itself.
Sure.
And then you can use this money for their overseas investment out of the 60%, up to the 60% of what they received.
Yeah.
So that was the facility that was introduced in terms of regulation. But it was subject to one condition, that whenever they have to pay their dividends and also sale proceeds of these shares, these companies cannot convert their rupees into dollars to repay their dividends and sale proceeds. But this was, the IMF observed that is one of the exchange restriction, because repayment of dividends and income and all is considered as current international transaction by the IMF. So that they say that we can't maintain this restriction, so they call it exchange restriction. We were compelled to remove it, so that we had relaxed this requirement by issuing this gazette notification.
So that is interest and dividends.
Basically dividends. And
what about at maturity?
Maturity also they can now earlier they were supposed to pay it from out of their earnings, but now they have to, now with this particular relaxation, they can convert rupees into dollars to pay.
When you pay the proceeds at maturity, is that a current account transaction?
Sir, when they have to, maturity means then they have to repatriation it, sir.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a capital transaction.
That's a capital transaction,
Yeah,
not a current transaction.
Yeah, it's
so
a capital
that is not caught in Article 8.
Yeah, Article 8, it's called only the current transaction.
Yeah,
yes.
so you said current transaction.
Yes. Only dividends.
Yeah, so only dividend and interest, not the maturity proceeds. It cannot be maturity proceeds.
Not the maturity.
Yeah, but you said you must know what you're talking about. Because capital account transactions are separate to current account transactions. So what the IMF is saying is you can't have any restrictions on current account transactions.
Yes.
So in this case, if you issued shares, then the dividends are current account transactions. Interest is current account transaction. Share is in perpetuity. But if the share is sold to somebody else,
they can only sell it to another non-resident.
Another non-resident. So that doesn't arise.
Yeah.
In the case
Because
of maturity of the debt security,
Yeah.
then only the capital account transaction of paying them at the principal.
They are not permitted to sell it to back to a resident party.
No, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is
Yeah.
at maturity,
Yeah.
what happens?
On maturity, they have to, I mean that, the maturity is not a loan. I mean, he's asking about the investment. This is not a loan, no?
Yeah, but you said there are both shares and debt securities, no?
Yes, sir.
So let us suppose that a company has issued a 3-year bond, right? Corporate bond
Yeah.
denominated in USD. Okay, now they have to pay it back.
Yeah.
It's for $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, now does it mean you can convert 300 million LKR into $1 million and pay? Or you have to have $1 million in your FCBU, which then you can use to pay?
So that was what the requirement was, to keep their dollars foreign currency account and to use this money to prepay.
Yes.
But with this particular relaxation, now they can even convert.
No, you can't, because that is a capital account transaction.
Yeah.
You are talking about a restriction in the current account.
This is not a debt, no, this is a capital. Yes. Okay. Yes, sir, because you are correct at that when you say that the equity, then if you convert into to repay these shares on maturity, sir, it's a capital transaction.
Yeah.
But in the case of a debt, sir,
Yeah.
in terms of our current account definition,
Yeah.
repayment of loan is considered as a current international transaction.
Okay. All right. So then how much are we talking about? Is it a big amount, small amount?
So this was introduced, as a policy proposal of the CSC in 2020,
Yeah.
but no company has yet invested in issue this dollar-denominated shares at
No
this
one
location.
has.
No one has done it yet. Sir.
You mean to say no one has issued listed securities on the SEC, or no one has?
Issued even the dollar-denominated shares.
No one has.
No one has. No company has
What
issued.
about debt? Dollar-denominated bonds, they must be having
No,
corporate
they have
debt.
not issued. Sir.
Why the big apparel companies and all don't have dollar-denominated debt?
Because this
No? Not listed. I understand, not listed.
Securities.
I understand. That is why I said listed.
Yeah.
If it is not listed, what about unlisted?
unlisted, of course, we have not permitted any party resident here to issue the dollar denominated listed shares or listed securities other than this schemes.
No, I'm talking about unlisted shares. See, what I'm asking is, there is a foreign currency payout every month, right? And there is the government borrowings that need to be paid out. Then there are the bonds and loans and all of those things. Besides that, the private sector also has to pay out their liabilities they have, right? Banks have foreign denominated debt, right? Companies have foreign denominated debt. So I am asking you, what is the volume of foreign denominated debt in terms of unlisted securities? And you are saying it's zero.
It's of course,
can't be.
no company has issued debt securities in foreign currency in the country, sir. It's not permitted. Only this, we have only permitted under this scheme only.
So what kind of debt do the banks have? Don't they have, like, say, companies like, let's say, MAS or these big apparel companies don't have dollar denominated debt?
But
Actually, sir, now they can do borrowing, sir.
Yes.
Borrowing, there is no restriction.
Yes.
There's a scheme called external commercial borrowing scheme.
Yes.
They can borrow with the tenor more than 3 years.
Yes.
That is allowed, sir.
And it is also has a limit that is based on their revenue or something like that.
Right now, there is no such limits, sir.
No such limit. Does it have any limit as to what your Forex earnings are?
Right now, no, sir.
So you mean to say a totally domestic company that is selling in LKR can borrow in USD?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Without a limit?
We have not, we are only under the condition that the tenor should be more than 3 years.
Are you sure?
Yes, they have to bring this money through the account called external commercial borrowing
That
account.
I understand. What I'm saying is there are no restrictions in a local company borrowing overseas.
No.
Seriously?
Yes. Only the tenor requirement is only, we have a minimum tenor requirement is 3 years.
So if I run a local company selling something locally, say I'm an apartment building, I'm building an apartment complex here,
Yeah.
right? My business is in LKR.
Yeah.
I can borrow USD
Yes, sir.
without any restriction.
One restriction is that with regard to the tenor.
3 year, if it is
It
more
should
than
be
3.
more than 3 years.
You see, you know what happened in Thailand was this, you know that. Thailand, what happened was in 97, what happened in Thailand? You all know, no. All these apartment buildings borrowed in USD and the baht was controlled. The moment they couldn't control the baht depreciated, all these real estate companies went bankrupt. And Thailand went into a financial crisis and the contagion happened across all of Southeast Asia. And you are saying we have no I'm a little bit surprised. Huh?
No, in fact, this was liberalized since 2011, sir. This has been there since 2011.
I mean, I don't know.
What?
Yeah. So you mean to say any local company with no forex inflow can borrow overseas?
Yes, sir, they can, sir. But most of the case, the lenders are not giving. But from our regulatory side, it's possible, sir.
Okay.
It depends on the loan agreement between the lender and
Lenders
the
are not-
borrower. So,
You see, there are a lot of undeclared money, there's a lot of black money, there's a lot of money laundering that happens.
Very easy.
Right? There are people who want to, they are not, they just want to clean the money. You have black money, you clean the money by lending it to a legitimate company locally here. Immediately it becomes white money. Right? White money and then there is no way to pay. I mean, I'm surprised. Anyway, why don't you send us a small note?
Sure.
Sir, anyway, sir, those funds are subject to FI regulations, sir.
No, that is another matter. That's another matter. But can you just give us like a one page on the you know the question, no? And implications of this, because we don't want to be stuck in a place where all these local companies borrow from various people who want to, there are all these Nigerian companies and all, I'm sorry to use a name of a country, but they say, look, I have $1 billion, we want to lend it to you. You know? And what has happened to the government of Sri Lanka is also the same thing. No, we borrowed Forex in USD with a revenue stream of LKR, and we don't have USD, we have only LKR. We don't have Forex to pay the loans, we went bankrupt. That is what happened, government. But what happened in Thailand was not government, private sector. So I think once bitten, we must be twice shy.
yes,
Okay,
sir.
send us a small note on this whole matter. Huh?
Sure, sir.
Thank you. So this is, there is no other issues with this particular gazette. What is the monitoring mechanism that you have?
Yes, of course, sir. They have any company. So individual is not permitted. Any company, whoever who raised this foreign loan, they have to bring this foreign borrowing into one account called external commercial borrowing account. So we get all this information from the authorized dealers we call banks on the transaction happening on the ECBA, external commercial borrowing account. So therefore we have all records. So we are monitoring and then we make reports on these things and we report to the management.
Right. So I want to ask you, maybe you can or cannot answer this. What is the trend that you see the LKR USD trend? Where is it heading?
I mean, like the market exchange rate. In fact, generally speaking, says I'm not closely dealing in this matter, but I see that it was.
But you all are the foreign exchange department.
Sir, as she said, sir, we have two departments. So we are, of course, regulating foreign exchange.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the most recent analysis by bondholders and those hedge funds, etc., they have three scenarios, as you know. The bullish scenario is, of course, they are all looking at 2027. Is what is it? 370, and the bear scenario is 440, something like that. President says 270, yeah. So from a regulatory point of view, you see what matters is the real exchange rate, no? What matters is not the nominal exchange rate. From an exporter's point of view, do you believe as a regulator that the real exchange rate currently is overvalued, undervalued, or at par?
In fact, sir, we are not computing this real, but that is also computed by the Economic Research Department. So, of course, it's a very good question, sir. I think what we do is basically in terms of this Foreign Exchange Act, sir, our role is to promote the foreign exchange transaction and regulate the foreign exchange transaction. So, for this purpose, we have liberalized all the current international transaction. What we are doing is we are relaxing all the remaining capital account transaction on a sequential basis, sir. So we have liberalized most of these current transactions. Then our duty will be on monitoring these already relaxed transactions and to identify market requirement to further relax this capital account. So that is our main role, sir.
Okay, we will ask the Forex department people what the RIA is like. But you have no idea, huh? You don't know whether it is overvalued, undervalued, or at par.
No, sir. Basically,
the fiscal policy people are very upset at your answer. You don't know.
So of course, as a
regulator,
yeah.
Do you believe that the real exchange rate should be undervalued?
No, I mean that real exchange should be depreciated. I think it cannot be appreciated, but that will affect to the competitiveness of our exporters,
Precisely.
export earnings. Yes,
that's the question I'm getting at.
Yes, so of course we would take this matter to the Economic Research Department.
You can say that we asked this question at this committee.
Sure,
because
sir.
We are of the view that the real exchange should be slightly depreciated.
Sure, sir. I agree. As an economist, I also agree, sir.
Okay, very good. Next one is 2371/50. What is that?
Yeah. Sir, this is that again we had issued a regulation to allow Sri Lankan residents in Sri Lanka to borrow from abroad for the purpose of purchasing international sovereign bond of the government from the secondary markets.
Oh.
So that we had permitted them.
Say that again.
So
what did you do?
Residents in Sri Lanka were permitted to borrow from abroad in foreign currency to buy the ISBs of Sri Lankan government from the secondary market. That was in 2021.
Why are you laughing? Okay, and then what happened?
But nobody has, because it was subject to the certain conditions, sir. One of the conditions that, it has to be approved by the monetary board on case-by-case basis. And whatever they raise the money has to be invested, 50% has to be invested in the ISB and the 50% has to be invested in the Sri Lankan development bonds. And on mature, they have to match the coupon payments with their rate of returns. So therefore, they were not permitted to convert rupees into dollars to repay this loan.
Sorry, they had to match the coupon rate with the
interest payment on this loan.
No, but then at the secondary market in 2021, what are the yield on these bonds? How much? How much? No, come on. You all are the regulators. Don't say everything you don't know. You have to know these things. No, you know, Honorable Hakim, I'm talking about 2021. Okay, let's say late 2021. What were the yields of the bonds in the secondary market? Roughly, you must remember what it was. Before the 500 million was paid. The $500 million was paid in January, of 22. Not even that. The yields were, in the secondary market, the yields were sometimes over 100%. Over 100%. So how can you match that with, I don't understand what you're saying. Please go ahead. So how many people did that?
No one has borrowed a loan to invest in this ISBs so far.
Do you know if any residents invested in the secondary market, ISB secondary market?
Banks have invested.
Okay. Do you know?
Banks have invested, sir.
Now, the FATF is here again, as you know. Financial Action Task Force, where we were grey listed last time. I recall Honorable Mangala Samaravira's valiant effort to get us out of the grey list, and finally we did, and we had to make amendments to the trust ordinance and various things. But the issue here is the beneficiary owners of all these instruments that are held by various corporates, banks, etc. So are there any efforts currently underway to ensure, to determine who beneficiary owners are of these bonds, etc., that are purchased in the secondary market by residents?
Of course, this information is not available to us. So we can basically check with the FIU, Financial Intelligence Unit, whether they have such information. Because anyway, whatever the foreign exchange transaction that the bank or any other person has to enter into is subject to verification of this all FIU requirement, due diligence requirement. One of it is a source of fund. They have to look into the source of fund. Definitely, banks should be looking into these requirements.
Okay.
So, but anyway, we can basically check with the FIU whether they have information.
So, what do you want to do with this cassette now?
So, because this again the IMF has identified that
you can convert rupees to pay.
repay it. But this is there had been no such loan. So we don't feel that this is a requirement to be continued. So what we will do is we are going to repeal this gazette notification regulation.
Okay. So those are the 3 gazettes on Forex, right?
On Forex.
Members, if you have no objection, we can go ahead and approve those 3.